Good morning. Darlene is always a hard act to follow. She is so full of energy. She is so articulate. She is so vibrant. She is so just about her business. So I'm going to try to emulate her style, but make it my own. So when Darlene asked me to talk about leadership, even though I'm in a leadership position, it's hard for me to see myself as a leader because I just do what I do, right? I'm not into titles. I just do what I do. So I'm like, what am I going to talk about? Leadership development? Yeah, I'm an assistant principal of guidance and counseling at a public high school for the last 4 years. I've opened and closed many businesses, but what makes me a leader? So I thought, well, do I do research and actually give you leadership theory? Or do I really speak about the nuts and bolts of leadership in terms of spirit, in terms of just ingenuity, and just being real? So I'm going to kind of give you a little bit of both. So I'll throw this question out to the audience. And I'm old school. I'm doing index cards. I don't have the PowerPoint today. So when you think of leadership, what is a leader? What are positive leadership qualities? And what do leaders do? Because you can say you're a leader, but it's not what you say, it's what you do that makes you a leader. So let's just throw some answers out. Doing what needs to be done, taking initiative. Anybody else? So you are a guide, right? You are the visionary. Anybody else? The person who steps out first, that takes the initiative. Anyone else before I move on? The ability to influence others and take action. And Hitler did that too, right? Right? So we need to determine, we need to determine what type of leader we want to be. A role model, right? And he was a role model too, let's be honest, of eugenics, right? So we have to determine what type of leader we want to be. So I want to talk a little bit about leadership development versus natural born leaders. So when I think about leadership development, I think about more formal education. You're taking courses, you're going to the Landmark, you're going to Momentum. You have a mentor who is guiding you, so you seek out these specific people who can help you, these specific courses. But when I think about natural born leaders, I think about what is innately in you. And to kind of demonstrate that, I want to talk a little bit about how I began to believe I was a leader. So when I was a child, I was rambunctious, had all these qualities. So one of the qualities I had presence. At age 12, I was standing 5 feet, 11 inches, weighing 200 pounds solid, right? So my presence alone drew attention. So now it's about the other qualities that actually begin to have people follow or people listen to what I had to say. I was confident, at least that's what I projected. I really wasn't, right? But I knew that I was different. I outstood most of the kids by 2 feet, outweighed them by at least 60 pounds. So I had to be confident in who I was. I had a lot of humor, and I was very down to earth. And that is what allowed people to connect with me. Also, I was commanding. Growing up in the projects, you had to be commanding, right? So that you wouldn't become a target. I was also smart and creative, right? And creativity is necessary for developing a good vision. I was also transparent. I was very authentic and very genuine. Translated into, she's rude, because I was direct. I said what I said and meant what I said, right? But I was being transparent and honest, right? So I kept it real. So as I blossomed into a teenager, it was called keeping it real. And that is very important as a leader, to keep it real so people can trust you. I also was a fighter. Not in the physical sense all the time, but I believed in justice. I believed in speaking out in what I believed in. I believed in challenging the status quo, that I wasn't just going with the crew. I stood out because I could say, No, it's not going down like that. I don't agree. So part of being a leader is being able to challenge and being willing to be a trailblazer and do what you believe is the right thing, even though 99% of the other people are doing what they're expected to do. To continue with the characteristics of a natural-born leader. I was intuitive. I just knew. I trusted my spirit. I believed in what I believed in. And today, in leadership, we live in a data-driven world. If you can't prove it with numbers, it's irrelevant. We forget the spiritual aspects of leadership. Being able to tune in, tap in, and just know and trust your gut and trust your intuition. No, I don't have any data to prove it, but I know. And I'm willing to take the risk, and I'm willing to jump off that bridge and try it. Leaders take risk. Not concerned about what the rest of the world is going to think or believe. We take risk. We're also humble at times. And it's very important to be self-aware. And when I talk about self-awareness, I'm talking about being able to understand how you impact the world, how you show up in the world, how people experience you. Therefore, you must check your egos. I don't know it all. I may have to rely on someone else and say, I don't know, can you tell me? Be willing to learn as well as be willing to teach. Be egoless. Lastly, in terms of who I was as a child, as tough as I appeared to be, I was compassionate. I cared about people, and everything I did rallied around trying to make the world a better place. And that's where vision comes in. So that's who I was as a kid. So my question I present to the audience is, how do you know who you are as a leader? And do you accept it? So how do you know?
People always choose me to do it, to go step front, or I do it because nobody else is doing it. I ain't got time to wait for them.
Initiative, that just keeps coming up. And people call on you because they see your abilities. Anything else?
Yeah, because also people begin to like build faith in your ability and stuff like that, though, you know, to be a role model. And again, it's God in the forefront. You know, what they don't know, you know. And if you don't know, you can find out, though. But the thing is that
Right.
you're in front.
You said something key, that people have faith in you. People believe in you when you don't believe in yourself. They see qualities within you that you don't even understand. Beverly? When people start mimicking your behavior and doing what you do, biting your style, right? You know, they want to be you. They admire you. So basically, that's what I wrote on the back of this card. Watch how people respond to you. What positions are you placed in? And what task are you assigned to do? I was never assigned just to put toilet paper in the bathroom. I always got the biggest and hardest job. And I hated it, and I hid from it, right? So all these people were saying things about who you are, pointing out your skills and your abilities, but at what point do you accept that you are a leader? You are a natural-born leader. At what point? I'll leave you with that one. So becoming a leader. How do you become a leader? The first step is accepting the calling. Some people are appointed because they have the degree. Some people are appointed because they've been trained in a specific skill, right? But the reality is, to be a leader is to answer a calling. Because the truth is, I don't want to be a leader. It's hard. I don't want to be responsible for people. I don't want to have to tell people what to do and ask them 150 times. I don't want to be accountable for the outcome. Being a leader is hard. I don't get sleep, right? And I'm going to talk a little bit about self-care as a leader too. That's important. So the first step is accepting the calling. Second step, knowing your purpose and your vision. You can't be a leader if you don't know where you're going. You can't be a leader if you don't understand your purpose and being able to stand in your purpose at all times. I work for the Department of Education in the day as an assistant principal of AP in guidance and counseling and director of is that I deal with all the emotional crisis, right? And I deal with all the discipline. And it's easy to get caught up in the politics of the DOE because there's so much compliance and data and all that stuff that can push me out of bounds of what my vision is. So I walk around with this vision journal. And this vision journal states my vision, mission statement, my personal brand. Tanya Sherise Odums, and Sherise is spelled She Rise. A vital force creating opportunities for self-cultivation, healing, and transformation that impact the world. That is my purpose. And no matter where I am, no matter where I go, no matter who I'm talking to, I am standing in my purpose at all times. So when I start to get off track, and I start to divert from the vision and the purpose and the calling of why I am here, I repeat that. I am a vital force in the community, and my purpose is to create opportunities for healing and transformation that impact the world. I must say that every day so that I do not fall into the politics and the games that can ruin our community. The third step is live your passion. Who the heck wants to wake up every day and go to a job for 8 hours and you can't wait till 5 o'clock? That is horrible. So even if you are in a job that you do not like, it is important to understand your purpose of why you are there. Every year at the beginning of the school year, I write a purpose statement of what I am here to do this year, even though the DOE is not going to let me do it because I have to crunch numbers. As an administrator, there's a difference between an administrator and a leader. Big difference, and I don't have time to go into that. The last thing, be persistent in carrying out your purpose, because things are going to happen in the world that will blind your vision. Unexpected things are going to come up. But if you are clear on what your purpose is, the vision will always be at the forefront. At the forefront. So be clear. So if I can't stress anything else, purpose, passion, and persistence, those 3 P's, are important to carrying out your vision as a leader. So basically, that's the spiritual side of being a leader. I'm going to get into more concrete leadership stuff. Any questions, comments? We good? I can go on? Great. So now I'm going to talk about managing a team and performance and evaluation. The first thing is to really be clear on what your expectations are and what you want the outcomes to be. Everybody on your team must understand the vision clearly. Because if not, you have everybody doing their own thing and you have chaos. And your outcomes will not be achieved. 2, develop a clear action plan with deadlines. You know how you assign stuff to people? I'm going to do it. 4 months later, where's this? I asked you for this in December, right? So be clear. This needs to be done. Give them enough room and trust them enough to figure out how to get it done. Because you can be a micromanager, and micromanaging does not allow people to grow. So I have to tell my team, figure it out. And if you need assistance, come see me. I'm not going to figure it out for you. Then I might as well do it myself, right? So, and them coming to me with questions shows me that they're thinking and that they're planning and that they're trying. So basically, always have expectations, always know, help your team figure out, but not do it for them, what the plan of action is to accomplish the goals. And make sure you have deadlines. Make sure your team has what they need to perform well. A lot of time I see leaders or administrators ask staff to do stuff, but you don't give them what they need to do it, and then you get mad when it's not done. So if I am a swimming coach, you can't say, I want you to prepare this swim team for the championship, but you don't give me a pool. How am I going to do it? So always make sure your team has what it needs to carry out what you expect. And the last thing I'm going to say about that is Be willing to guide, be willing to teach, and have some patience. Because people have a lot of passion but don't always have the skill. So that's where we must put our teacher hat on. In terms of evaluation, it's important to remain objective when you are evaluating your team or the people you supervise. Because the ones you don't like will actually get a bad review. I don't like you, I don't want you here anyway, bye, right? So, and that's part of standing in integrity as well. Being honest and doing the right thing. Just because I don't like you doesn't give me a reason to fail you or give you a U reading. So I have objective tools that I use to evaluate, and I also give the tool to the person I'm supervising and have them evaluate themselves so I can see how they believe that you really think that you are a 5, you know? So, and then we actually have to have a discussion about, you need to advocate to me, why do you think you're a 5? Maybe I'm overlooking something because I don't like you, right? I'm overlooking something that you have done wonderfully because I'm only looking at the negative stuff because we're not vibing. So being objective is important. Also, don't get your feelings involved. Let your ego go. Be honest, be fair. Leaders need to be fair and not abuse our power. Rely on concrete evidence when assessing performance. That's important. So if you say this person is a 1, you need to be able to say you're a 1 because you're late every day. You're a 1 because I asked you for this project 2 months ago and it's not done. You're a 3, you know, so have the concrete evidence to support the rating that you're giving them. And that's how you be fair. In terms of disciplining employees, which I hate because they act like kids sometimes, right? First of all, I always try to approach discipline from a positive perspective. I approach talking about what they do well, so they don't think I'm just beating up on them. And I understand that the purpose of discipline is to correct, to teach, and build, not to condescend or break down. Because if I condescend and break down, I'm not standing in my purpose of self-cultivation, healing, and transformation because I'm making someone feel bad, right? Also, it's important for you to express your concerns about whatever the behavior is. Help them understand the impact of the behavior on the people you're serving, on the organization as a whole, because now you're developing self-awareness with them. Because a lot of people are not self-aware about the stupid, ignorant stuff they do. They don't know. And then after you gave them the information they need about the inappropriate behavior, you need to set goals for them, right? Set the expectation, just like children. After you discipline, you need to tell them what you expect and then give them the information to correct the behavior. They can't change it, they have nothing to replace it with. Almost done. Going into ways to discipline, I believe in progressive discipline. You can't just slam the hammer. You know, sometimes I get mad at the children in school. I just want to suspend them, get out, go home, right? But I have to ask myself, what did I do to correct the behavior before I imposed the suspension? What did I do? Did I talk to you? Did I call your parent? Right? What are the steps that I took to help correct the behavior? Same thing with employees. First, let's have a conversation. I'm not pleased with this. This is what I expect from you. Document. Second step, if they don't correct the behavior, you give them a memo, right? So you're writing, it's a letter to file. If they continue, you write a couple of more letters, maybe 2 or 3, and then you move to suspension, right? And if after 2 or 3 suspensions, it's termination. So that is progressive discipline. And we don't always just want to get rid of an employee because we have personal feelings about them. We need to look at their skill level and if you can really use them in this organization, and if they are willing to be shaped and mentored. I had an intern. Everybody hated her, but the girl was brilliant. I was like, I ain't getting rid of her. She's outperforming everybody here. I started coaching her, and this girl is really doing the work. on her personal stuff that makes her a tyrant in the workplace. I brought self-awareness to her. I gave her information about how she impacts the world. I had her do some reflections on where is this stuff coming from, right? And then gave her suggestions on how to change the behavior. I wasn't gonna get rid of free labor. That was excellent, but the attitude stink. Now, if she could not adjust the attitude, I would have to let her go, because now I have to worry about the reputation of my department, because you're a reflection of me. But she was workable. My closing words is that leaders are born but need to be developed. I have this acronym. I just actually incorporated a new business. It's called KhepeRa, KhepeRa Counseling and Consulting. And KhepeRa is a Kemetic term meaning transformation, renewal, and rebirth. And my motto is time. Transformate, innovate, motivate, and educate. And if you spell that backwards, it's emit. To propel forth, to move forward. Everything is about standing in my purpose. My organization is about representing my purpose. In the spirit of, I think her name is Marianne Anderson or Williamson, she talks about, who is it? Williamson, right? Who's Marianne Anderson? She's another person I read. I think she's down with Louise Hayes. She always, in one of her speeches, she talks about, who are you not to be great? Who are you not to shine? So on the cards that I have put on the table, I'm going to ask you to reflect on this question. How are you going to shine as a leader? What are you going to do? What actions are you going to take? How are you going to step into your greatness? That's another one of mine. Step into your greatness and stand in your power. And then I'm going to ask 2 volunteers to read what they wrote. So I'm going to give you 30 seconds. Write some bullet points down. What are you going to do? What actions are you going to take that will allow you to stand in your power as a leader, to step into your greatness as a leader? And then I'm going to ask my 2 team members to come up who I recruited today. I got 2 team members, and I delegated as a leader what I needed them to do. Leaders delegate. We don't do it all ourselves, because it would drive you crazy. I'm done trying to be perfect. I'm done. I have to trust in other people's abilities and build their capacity to do the work. So, anybody finished? Can I have somebody share? Don't be shy. Leaders, we must speak. If y'all only knew how nervous I was getting up here. 1 and 2. We'll start with you. You gonna come up? Yes, you. Come on up and shine. Okay, wait till you get up here. Come up here. Come up here. Okay, so what are you gonna do to shine as a leader?
My name is Alvin Turner, and I'm accompanied with my wife, Regina Turner. I'm not going to ask you to do something that I will not do, meaning that if I need you to do something, I'm going to do it and not have to ask you to do it as a leader.
Okay. That's humility. Thank you. Leaders are humble. You ready?
Good morning, everyone. So I'm going to follow my spirit. I'm going to be obedient. And I'm going to do the things that I love to do to help others. And I'm also going to help others do the same thing that I just said. Thank you.
You're welcome. So I'm going to have my 2 team members who are actually just going to read some leadership quotes. That's how we're going to end, with some positive affirmations, okay? So repeat after me, everybody. We cannot become what we need to be by remaining what we are. Growth is required to be an effective leader. Just pick one or two to read.
Hello. Hi, my name is Karen Clark. And leaders become great, not because of their power, but because of their ability to empower others. A leader is one who sees more than others see, who sees further than others see, and who sees before others see.
Morning, my name is Wilda Souffran, and I'm going to read a few quotes. A leader is one who knows the way, goes the way, and shows the way. If your actions inspires others to dream more, learn more, and do more, and become more, you are a leader. Leadership is the capacity to translate vision into reality. Great leaders don't set out to be a leader. They set out to make a difference. It's never about the role. It's always about the goal. I'm going to steal that one. I like that.
So with that said, I'm going to say thank you. I actually have to run out because I didn't even tell you that my other stream of income is I'm a mental health professional. I have a private practice. I do a lot of consulting with different community-based organizations, helping them develop programs for youth. And I'm at the Schomburg Center for African Studies, and I'm developing a counseling program there for their Junior Scholars Program, so that's where I'm on my way to. So I have to run. I have cards on the table over here. You can reach me at Tanya Sherise, it's my website, Odums, ODUMS.com. And my email is Tanya Sherise SS, which stands for Social Solutions, @gmail.com. Tanya Sherise Social Solutions @gmail.com. TanyasherisESS @gmail.com. Thank you.